Hi everybody, GM. This is Sam with your Proof Daily NFT Countdown. If you look at the volume charts for today, the story is pretty clear. There are three things that matter. The first is what happened with the Bored Ape Yacht Club with their recent announcement, top three sets, all from there. The second is that Azukis had a strong rally and there could be some potential news today. And the third is Mutant Hounds. All top 8 collections were all in those three themes. We'll touch on all of them. Starting with Bored Apes launching their Dookey Dash game. People have been waiting for this announcement. The floors have been running. What exactly did they announce? First is that they're going to launch a pretty intricate game where players can try to earn points. Okay, so Bored Ape Yacht Club holders, Mutant Ape Yacht Club holders are all going to get a pass. And what that pass does is it allows you to play this game. Now the Bored Ape holders are going to get a pass that gives you a higher multiplier, which allows you to earn more points. You can sell your pass, so the pass is an NFT that will have value. There will be, at the end of the day, after all is said and done, there will be a mint where the passes that have accrued the most points, and that pass has to accrue all those points from the exact same wallet. Those passes, ideally, we will see, will get the coolest NFT. So that's the basic idea. We're going to learn more. We still don't know a ton about what that mint's going to look like that you can use your passes for, but that's the basic idea. Quickly going over the charts though, what exactly happened here and how did the market react? I'd say the market reacted pretty poorly, not terribly, because we're just back at levels we were at about 2 weeks ago. But if you look at this chart, kind of Bored Ape Yacht Club plus the whole ecosystem, you can see it was about a 10% down move relative to where we were yesterday. Looking at each of the NFTs individually, the Kennel Club took the hardest hit, went from 11.5 to 9.3, down 20%. Bored Apes and Mutant Apes down 8 to 9%. ApeCoin down 8%. So overall, this was clearly a buy the rumor, sell the news situation. Now, one of my views on these types of situations is I think high-end NFT holders are pretty busy people. The people who are spending 80 ETH or 90 ETH on an NFT, they're pretty busy. A lot of them own a ton of NFTs. And often the key to make these things work is simplicity in the way that you organize the structure. People don't want to feel like they have to spend tons of time, playing a game, learning anything in order to get max value out of the NFT. So this move could prove me wrong, but it certainly went against that theme that I think is normally pretty important when you're dealing with NFTs at this price point. Perhaps the flip side is that NFTs are an attention game, and perhaps we're going to see a ton of people playing this game, posting about this game over the next month. It could just dominate our feeds, and maybe that's a good thing for the ecosystem. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not too surprised though that you actually saw a sell-off here. Apes have run really, really hard. A lot of the people aren't going to want to play this game. And in general, it's just the way that this industry works is buy the rumor, sell the news. Second story, friendship bracelets hit new all-time highs. Now, I think there are two things going on here. The first thing is that the one question everyone had about this project is what's going to happen when more and more supply comes online. And people were broadly right. Over the past 3 days, up until the minting period ended, you saw 5,000 new friendship bracelets minted. That is more friendship bracelets than were minted in the entire month of December. So a bunch of new supply did come online, and we ended with about 38,000. I think what people didn't realize, though, is that that was a negative catalyst that was hanging over the collection, and once it was gone, people felt permission to really go out and buy. Finally, they knew exactly what the scenario would look like, and they took that as an opportunity to buy more and more friendship bracelets. The other thing that's very, very important, though, for what drove this move yesterday, I was looking at which wallets bought the most friendship bracelets over the past 24 hours. And you had a bunch that bought 20, one wallet that bought 54, and then one wallet that bought 454 friendship bracelets. Okay. And as we looked into the wallet, it looks like that was Flamingo DAO, which is a highly respected group of very kind of sophisticated in-the-know collectors. And their DAO decided to buy 454 basically in 1 hour, spending almost 300 ETH. So I think that was a huge driver of this move. If you look at this wallet, they also have recently been buying a ton of terraforms. I think we all know that terraforms have been on fire as well. So just overall, clearly Flamingo DAO calling the shots here and huge believers in friendship bracelets. We will see how this continues to go. I think it's an interesting NFT. 38,000 is a lot. Clearly, the community is treating this as an entry pass, as perhaps a utility token for the Art Blocks community. And Art Blocks has unquestionably been one of the single, maybe the single number one, number two most successful projects in NFTs since they really began. Third story today, the Mutant Hound reveal. Now again, Mutant Hounds, as I said yesterday, are up 6x over the past month. In mid-December, we were looking at a 0.32 floor. Right now, we're at a 2 ETH floor. So normally with these things, it's this buy the rumor, sell the news story. It is, reveals almost never go too well. This case, I wouldn't say that's exactly what happened. You had these reveals, and say what you will about these hounds. Clearly, there are groups of degens, groups of traders, groups of ape lovers who love this art. This fire-breathing hound sold for 27 ETH yesterday. This ice hound sold for 22. There were a bunch of sales at 20 ETH or higher of the hounds that came out. Now, what exactly happened with the floor prices, though? The hound collars. So the way the structure works is if you have a hound collar, you can burn it. And in exchange for that collar, you're going to get a hound. Now, the hound collars stayed at 2 ETH. Okay, 5,000 were burned, 5,000 were not. The Mutant Hounds, the floor price went to 1.3 ETH. Okay, so the absolute cheapest hounds are much cheaper, but the collars basically stayed where they were. Why is that? It's because NFT buyers like to gamble, and they like the possibility that you're going to get one of those 27, 20 ETH hounds that we've seen out there. So they'll pay a premium for the collar, which could be anything. I figured I would do the math a little bit here and say, is it worth it to burn your collar or not? I almost always say you should never burn, but I was looking at the prices of where hounds have actually been trading, and the median hound has had a top price so far of 1.5 ETH. So based on the median price, you'd rather hold your collar at 2 ETH. But if you actually look at the average price, because the average price gives a lot more credit to the 27 ETH sale, the 20 ETH sale, the average price per hound has been 2.0 ETH. So right now, the average price per hound and the price of the collar are pretty much neck and neck. So my normal theory, always hold your collar, don't burn something, keep that gambler's premium, right now is still uncertain for this collection. I think you see the same thing in Renga black boxes. We'll run this analysis there too. Kind of interested to see how that looks. But broadly speaking, this will be a very interesting one to follow. Congrats to Lior and the overall team. Really built this as a derivative on Apes, clearly getting a ton of traction, and the reveal went pretty well. Fourth story, just want to go over other big sales that have happened in the market today. A few interesting sales that kind of caught my eye. The first was a DegenToonz sold for 35 ETH. This was the highest priced DegenToonz that has ever sold. The second highest price was a 25 ETH sale of the exact same NFT. So this NFT sold for 25 a few months ago, 35 today. This was a real sale. DavidTaylor.eth went onto Twitter, said he finally found his Forever Tunes huge holder. Now, clearly nothing crazy happening with this collection. The floor price is up from 0.5 to 0.8, but loyal collectors, someone wanted this grail. Second thing, Milady is rallying. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but the price has gone from 0.7 to 1.3 in the past week on pretty decent volume. I asked Twitter, I said, what's driving this rally? And the best answer I got was more buyers than sellers. So I don't know if there's really anything there, but clearly the idea of memes is on fire right now. We talked about it yesterday with 6529, and Milady is getting the benefit there. Other big sale, Karma Monkey sells for 25.5 ETH. As you know, this is part of the On-Chain Monkey collection. This is the second tier set. Floor price is just around 0.25. So a 25.5 ETH sale is pretty massive there. Just happened a couple of hours ago. This is the second biggest sale ever for the Karma Monkey collection. A very similar one sold for 30 ETH a few months ago. Last thing in this section is a whale swept 24 Azukis. These are all still in that whale's wallet. I looked at the wallet. These were not, so it's not like a flip on Blur or anything like that. And the Azuki floor went up 1 ETH. Now today is the anniversary for Azuki. Okay, it's 1 year since they launched their initial collection. Collectors right now are expecting something big from the team. So very curious to see what happens. As I've said, I think twice on this podcast, buy the rumor, sell the news tends to be a very a pretty successful strategy. Will be interesting to see what Azuki can do to keep this recent rally intact. As the last thing, I just want to give you all, on these shows, I want to talk a little bit about what's coming in the future. One thing I thought was pretty interesting today is Amber Vittoria has a mint. It is an open edition mint where you buy this piece on the left here. It's 0.07 ETH. You can buy up to 4 of them. And then starting tomorrow, you can burn 3 of them into one of the piece on the right. So you have the piece on the left, which is the cheaper version. If you want to spend 0.28 ETH, buy 4 of them. You can burn 3 into the one on the right, keep one and have both of them as a whole collection. This is a pretty common theme, burn NFTs to get other NFTs. Over the past couple weeks, Let's Go really put that on the map. Cool to see Amber doing that herself. If you do want to mint these, I would go to her Twitter at Amber_Vittoria so you can figure out the mint site. It's on Manifold. Make sure you're in the right place for it. If you look at her prior work, if you want to get something cheaper for than mint price, she has a piece called The Serene, which is at 0.0528 ETH. That is the least expensive of the pieces she has on the market. Other than that, everything is at a higher price. Her other work here, an edition of 30 at 0.23, an edition of 30 at 0.19, an edition of 70 at 0.145. So a lot of interesting work from her, an artist that I think a lot of people really like, and just wanted to put that on the map, talk a little bit more about art and what is coming for the rest of the day. That's a lot of information. We talked a lot about a lot of things. What did I miss? Are there themes here that I didn't talk about today that you think are important? Would love to hear it. Respond in the comments, and we will be back at you tomorrow with 3, 4, 5 more stories about the NFT market. Have a good day.